I've said it plenty of times before, but Ghost of Tsushima was a fantastic game. The story was great between the historical setting being mixed with fantasy elements. Graphically, it was gorgeous, and the combat was super polished. But for Game of the Year, we knew that it was basically going to be between Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. I do think that like Final Fantasy VII, Hades, Doom Eternal, and Animal Crossing New Horizons were really great games, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they were as good as something like Ghost of Tsushima. And of course, there were plenty of people who liked The Last of Us Part 2, but The Last of Us Part 2 is super divisive, as most of you know, and when it comes to the Game Awards, we can see the types of presenters that are chosen and the types of personality they choose to present games. So I think that we all had a feeling going into the Game Awards that The Last of Us Part 2 was going to have a sweeping victory, even though Ghost of Tsushima won player's voice. But the Game Awards for this year are over, and like we all expected, unfortunately, The Last of Us Part 2 has won basically every category that it was nominated in. So one of the first awards that went out was Game Direction. Wow, The Last of Us Part 2 wins for Best Game Direction. An incredible moment for Naughty Dog at the Game Awards. Unfortunately, going into The Last of Us Part 2, a lot of us were excited, but it went sour very quickly with Joel dying. Spoiler alert, with Joel dying, I feel like that really ruined the game direction. We were all hoping to see Ellie and Joel continue their adventures, have that father-daughter dynamic, and just see their relationship grow, and instead they basically killed him off, saying, oh, it's Ellie's time in the spotlight. We need a strong, independent woman on the scene. We don't need any men around here at all whatsoever. So the next award that went out was accessibility. It says the very first award for innovation in accessibility goes to The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I'm not someone who looks a lot at accessibility in games, so hey, maybe The Last of Us 2 did truly deserve to win this spot. I tried to look a little bit into the other games that it was nominated against, but because it was the first, I'll give The Last of Us Part 2 this win, just because I do think that innovation in accessibility is very important to the industry. So I'll give them this one. The next one, though, is congratulations to The Last of Us Part 2 for Best Narrative Win. Does this game truly deserve Best Narrative Win out of all of its competitors? It got the best narrative when this game truly had the worst narrative in a game that we've seen in a long time. Just look at some of the comments. How did it win best narrative? It is literally the worst story this year. Someone else literally just said, bruh. Someone else said something I agree with. I just don't get it how such a cliche story can win Best Narrative awards. Now, this is my thing. With The Last of Us Part 2, I think that the story was just really bad and really cliche because it was having a daughter and her father dies and she has to go on this bad path of revenge, which is the problem. She doesn't even really get revenge in the end, so it kind of just leaves you hanging. It's just not a good revenge story, and revenge stories are kind of overdone at this point. I think that they could be done in a better way, and The Last of Us Part 2 definitely just failed in that area. So the next award says The Last of Us Part 2 wins Best Action Adventure Game. Congratulations at Naughty Dog. This is so stupid in my opinion, truly. I think the Ghost of Tsushima definitely deserved to win this category. It was such an amazing game compared to something as lackluster as The Last of Us Part 2. And even looking at the comments, people agree. People are saying, how? I voted GOT and it's the best action adventure game for me. And someone else said, I don't hate The Last of Us Part 2, but seriously, how the heck did it win this award? I want to say that I'm glad some people enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2. I really am. I don't want a game to just fail because I dislike the story, but I wish that the people behind the game, like Neil Druckmann, didn't try to cause division intentionally between people in the industry. Like recently when he tweeted out, make sure to vote for The Last of Us Part 2 at the Game Awards to make the haters cry because it's shitty, and I really think the Ghost of Tsushima was snubbed here and they deserved way more wins for that game because it was truly truly amazing. And The Last of Us Part 2 definitely did not deserve to get the Game of the Year win. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. As you can see, The Last of Us Part 2 completely swept the Game Awards away, and they got literally as many wins as they could, except for one. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and share it. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.